The sea outside Monte Carlo shimmered beneath a sunset that refused to die. Amelia Hart leaned on a fragile hotel balcony, sketchbook in hand, the wind whispering secrets through her hair. She'd been traveling alone for months, chasing inspiration, pretending solitude was freedom. But she knew it wasn't. It was hunger disguised as peace. That afternoon, she found her way to a small cafe with striped awnings and golden lights spilling through the windows. That's where she saw him for the first time. Maxim de Varel. He sat by the window, dressed in quiet wealth and weary grace. There was something haunted about his calmness, as if he had seen too much beauty and too much loss all at once. When their eyes met, time seemed to hesitate. His gaze didn't just see her, it read her like an unfinished page in his story. He smiled, a slow, knowing smile. And with that, something inside her began to unravel. They spoke briefly, her sketchbook, his compliment, the strange moment when he recognized the house she had drawn. "It looks familiar," he said. She laughed nervously. "It's from my imagination." He tilted his head. "No, it's from mine." From that moment, everything began to feel like fate dressed in coincidence. They met again the next day. And the day after that. The first by chance, then by choice. He told her about England, about the gray cliffs and the restless sea, about a house that never slept. She told him about her art, her dreams, her constant fear of never being seen. Sometimes their conversations were long, drenched in laughter. Sometimes they said almost nothing. But even silence with him felt like music. There was grief behind his smile. She could feel it like cold air beneath warm skin. He spoke of loss without saying her name, the woman who came before Amelia, the one who turned love into shadow. "People think grief fades," he said one night. "It doesn't. It changes form." "And love?" she asked. He looked at her, eyes darker than the sea. "Love becomes a ghost that refuses to leave." The world felt different after that. Every glance carried meaning. Every brush of his hand felt like confession. He wasn't just a man, he was a mystery wrapped in tenderness. And she, the girl who never stayed anywhere for long, suddenly wanted to belong. It was raining when he asked her. They walked beneath one umbrella, the city blurred by silver rain. His voice was low, almost hesitant. "Do you believe in signs, Amelia?" "Only the ones that scare me," she said. He smiled faintly. "Then this one will terrify you. Come back to England with me." She laughed at first. He wasn't joking. That night, she stared at his note, ink smudged by rain. "Train leaves at dawn. If you wish to come, don't think, just do." So she did. The whistle of the train cut through the morning fog. He was there, waiting, a gloved hand outstretched. She took it, and in that moment, the old version of herself disappeared. The countryside rolled by, endless fields, passing towns, the shadow of something unknown drawing closer. She didn't know where she was going, only that she had already chosen not to turn back. England greeted her with mist and silence. The road to Manderley wound through ancient trees and fields heavy with fog. The mansion appeared like a memory made of stone, vast, elegant, alive in its own way. The servants watched her with polite curiosity. But one Mrs. Danvers did not smile. Her eyes held quiet hostility. "This was her room," Mrs. Danvers said once, brushing her fingers across a vanity. "Nothing has been touched since the accident." The ghost that filled every corridor. The woman whose name no one spoke, but whose presence was everywhere. Amelia began to feel her in the mirrors, in the scent of roses that lingered even after the flowers had died. Every night, she dreamed of waves crashing against the cliffs, of a woman's laughter carried by wind, of a face that was not hers, reflected beside Maxim's. She loved him. She feared him. And more than that, she feared the past that owned him. Days turned into weeks. The house began to whisper secrets. Letters arrived with no name, photographs disappeared, and Mrs. Danvers' voice followed Amelia like perfume. "You'll never replace her," she said once, voice soft as silk. No one could. Maxim grew distant. He spent nights in the library, drinking, staring into nothing. One evening, the storm rose, thunder crawling across the sea. She found him standing at the window, pale and broken. "It was my fault," he whispered. "The night she died." Her breath caught. "The boat?" she asked. He nodded once. He turned toward her, tears and rain indistinguishable on his face. "You remind me of what I lost. And that's what scares me." She stepped closer, placing her hand on his chest. "Then let me be what you find." Lightning tore across the sky. Outside, the ocean roared like a secret finally spoken. As they stood together, the portrait of the first Mrs. Devereux fell from the wall. And for the first time, Amelia felt the full weight of the truth. She wasn't living a love story. She was living a haunting.